Hello, this time we will take a look how to download images from web page. For example, I have random web page and I would love to download all images that are on this page. Okay, let's start. First, we will need to download some packages. I will use npm install command and we will need to download Axios. It will be HTTP client. Then we will need Geo. It basically is a jQuery for server side. And Puppeteer. And this library is used as API to headless Chrome browser. Then press enter and install will take some time. Okay, next I will create index.mjs file because I want to use ES6 modules in Node.js. Okay, first let's import needed libraries. From path module import, we will need ext name because we would like to know what file extension will be for image. And then we will need join method. This join method allows us create path that will be OS specific from path module. Also, we need to import some methods from fs module. Okay, we will import create write stream from fs and then exists since. This method will check if directory exists, and this sync part, it will mean that it will work synchronously. Basically, we don't need any callback. And then we will need method for directory creation. And it will be make div sync, and as previous method, it will be synchronous. Let's go. I will use self-executing function because it will be invoked immediately. Okay, let's create anonymous async function because we will be using async await functionality. I will define some constants. One will be URL. This URL will be where to look and download images, and one constant for directory where I want to put images. I will call it images. So, and I will copy URL. Okay, I got URL. Let's go further. We will need to create browser object for Puppeteer. Let's create it. So browser equals Puppeteer, and we need to launch it. Okay. In this case, code will be quite simple without any error catching. I just want to show example how it's done. Let's create page. It will be browser, and we need to call new page property. And to complete it something. Oh yes, I completely forgot it. Await. We need to await these function calls. Next, let's call needed URL. In this case, we need to await for page go to, and we need to specify URL. This method basically will fetch all HTML from URL, and then we will use Cheerio to parse page content and select needed HTML elements. Okay, let's create needed functionality. I will assign to $, and I need to call Cheerio page load and one thing await, and another thing is that we want to pass to this load method page content, and additionally I will add option for whitespace ignoring. Okay, everything so far looks good. Now let's go to needed page and try to find HTML elements, specifically class attribute for needed element, because we gonna be using it to find all images. Okay, for example, looks like we can use PB image and additionally LB container classes. Just for safety, let's check different image. Okay, looks like we can safely use these two classes. Syntax for Cheerio is quite similar to jQuery. If we want to find some elements, we just need to provide classes. We needed LB container and BB image, and then we will iterate for each of these elements. Okay, we will need the index just to name images, and other will be HTML, and the other property will be element. Okay, so let's pass this. Next thing is that we need to get image URL. Let's go back to page and let's try to find out where this URL data could be found. Okay, for image there is data source attribute, and this apparently contains image. Okay, so what we can do is let's create a const image src, const image src. Okay, and then from lm we need to get attributes. Let's get what we needed. We needed data source. Okay, and here we will pass data source. Okay, additional thing, if something happens and this attribute is empty or undefined, we would like to skip loop. We need to look for undefined value. Okay, we need image source and we need to look for undefined, and then we can return. Oh yes, before I forgot, we need to create logic for directory creation if it doesn't exist. For that, we will need to use existSync method. We will be looking if directory doesn't exist using existSync method, and we need to pass directory. Okay, if directory doesn't exist, then we will use make_dir sync and pass our directory. That logic should be fine. So let's go here, and the next step will be, for next step, we need to find what file extension is for image. We will do it using extName function. Okay, I will store extension in extension constant, and let's call extendName method, and we need to pass image source constant. And then basically this is the most important part, where we will be downloading our image. It will be done using Axios library. Okay, let's call Axios, and let's specify method will be get, then URL will be URL which we got from this attribute. It will be image source, and then let's specify response type, and here we need to provide stream. Stream is used so we could stream response and pipe it right into node create write stream method. Axios will return promise, and then we need to look for then part, where we will receive our response. I will call it response, and in here will be most logic. I will quickly add a catch if there will be any error. We will receive error, some sort of error, console error, and we will just write received error. So in response we will receive stream. To get this stream, let's call data property and pipe it to the create write stream function. So, and what we need to pass in here is new file path and file name. So just to make OS agnostic, we will use join method. As previously told, images will be in images directory, and directory name is stored in dir constant, and then we will need to specify a new file name, and I will do it using JavaScript string templates. Okay, so let's define string template, img, abbreviation, then dash, then I will pass index, then we need to pass extension. Extension will contain something like this, JPEG or PNG. That's why we don't need the dot. Okay, as last step, we need to close browser. What we need to do is call close method on browser object. Wait, close browser.close. To execute script, we just need to run node index.mjs. Okay, looks like issue with the import. Okay, let's remove it and try once more. Okay, browser is not defined. Okay, my mistake. As you can see, image folder was created and it's empty. So I will delete it and let's try to run it one more time. Oh, okay, my bad. I needed to write pipe. Okay, looks like we had an issue with this image. It doesn't exist, that's why we got this error. But you will see new directory called images, and in there should be all images that were available.